Stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself honestly, are you making the most of your time in this life? Have you ever thought about what your purpose is? Have you thought about why and for what are you here? And if the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's okay, because that discomfort is also a guide. Sometimes we think we're okay because we're busy, but being busy doesn't always mean being aligned. I want you to listen to this question without judging yourself. Are you on autopilot? Do you get up, work, solve, eat, sleep, and repeat? Do you feel that you survive and fight, as they say, on a daily basis? And even though you accomplish things, inside there is a soft emptiness that won't go away? Many people live like this, and not because they are weak. They live like this because no one taught them to look inside calmly. No one taught them to stop and ask themselves what is guiding their decisions. And today, I want to invite you to a simple but profound reflection, not for you to change everything at once, but so that you begin to see your life with more awareness. Because from a spiritual point of view, life on earth is an opportunity for soul growth. Let us remember that we are all spiritual beings living a physical experience. And when you remember it, it changes the way you look at your routine. It's no longer just, I have to make it to Friday. It's, what am I learning about myself right now? We are here to remember who we really are through experiences. Experiences such as love, compassion, patience, and wisdom. And you don't always learn in the right moments. Sometimes you learn when something breaks, when someone leaves, when an anxiety appears, when a habit dominates you, when you look in the mirror and say, I don't know when I got lost. If you are there today, I embrace you with respect. You're not alone, and you're not late. You're only at one point along the way. Now, when we think about making the most of life, a profound question arises. Am I growing as a human being? Am I evolving internally? Because we can fill our lives with activities, entertainment, commitments, and still go around in circles. And that's a very common trap. Do a lot, feel little. Comply with everything, but forget about yourself. Imagine someone who says, I'm enjoying life because I go out every weekend. I have fun with my friends. I have my routines. I watch my programs. Time passed like this. From a certain point of view, we can say, that person is taking advantage of life. But from the spiritual perspective, the question changes. And here comes one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself. When life ends, what's left of all that? The only thing that remains is what we have become inside. And this is not to scare you, it's to wake you up with love. Because if during our experiences, we learn to be more generous, more patient, more compassionate, more mindful, then those experiences really paid off. Because that inner growth always accompanies us. And when I say always, I mean it stays in your energy. It stays in your frequency. It stays in your way of loving. It stays in your way of responding. It stays in the peace that you can hold even when it's noisy outside. But many people live without realizing this. They believe they are taking advantage of life when in reality they are just repeating habits and patterns that do not produce inner growth. And it's not fault, it is unconsciousness. And unconsciousness is cured with presence. So today, without pressure, I want to propose an exercise. You don't need anything special, just a few seconds of truth with you. That is why today's invitation is very simple but profound. Be honest with yourself. Observe your life calmly. Observe your thoughts. Watch your reactions. Are you a little better person today than before? Do you have more patience, more understanding, more serenity? Or do you still react in the same way to the same impulses? And here it is not about being perfect. It's about realization, because realizing it is already a change. Now tell me, when anger, pride, sadness, irritation arise, does it sweep you away like a wave? Or can you breathe and choose a different answer? Are you able to choose a more conscious answer? This is key, because your purpose is not just a goal. Your purpose is also the quality of consciousness with which you live. In your daily life, who is guiding your decisions? Your impulsive ego or your wisest and most spiritual part? And we're not going to fight with the ego. The ego just wants to protect you. But sometimes it protects from fear. And when you live from fear, you shrink. You compare yourself. You doubt. You settle. You get distracted. And in that state, it's easy to fall into habits. Smoking. Eating out of anxiety. procrastination, seek validation, staying where you are not happy, saying yes when your soul screams no. And if you identify with any of this, breathe. It is not a sentence. It's a sign. Because if we are not clear about this, we may think that we are living very well and one day discover that we were walking in the wrong direction. And that moment, when you realize it, can hurt. But it can also be the beginning of your awakening. That is why self-knowledge is so important. Inner reflection and spiritual growth. And beware, spiritual growth does not mean abandoning your life. It doesn't mean going to a mountain. It doesn't mean quitting your job. It means living your life with more presence. It means paying attention to what your soul is learning. We can have a material life, a family, responsibilities, moments of joy, beautiful experiences. All of that is part of life. But we should never put material things above our spiritual growth, because the material is a stage, and you're the main character. Life on earth is a learning scenario. Every experience can be an opportunity to evolve. So if you're in a routine today that you can't or dare to get out of, I want you to look at it gently. Don't blame yourself. Don't judge. Just ask yourself, what part of me is afraid? And then ask yourself, what part of me is ready? Because there's always a part of you ready. Ready to heal, ready to order, ready to choose different, ready to remember. When we understand this, we begin to live in a more conscious way. And conscious living is not living without problems. It is living with direction. It's living with intention. It is living with a more awakened heart. Now I'm going to share something very practical with you. Many times the confusion does not come because you do not have the capacity. The confusion comes because you have too many voices on you. The family, society, the you should be ahead of the curve. The others advance faster. And in the midst of that noise, your inner voice becomes low. Therefore, a tool that helps a lot is to look at your map, your energy map, your birth map, your information. Because there are signs that are repeated, patterns, lessons, gifts. And when you see them clearly, something falls into place. Not because someone tells you what to do, but because you recognize yourself. And that's what we do at Equilibrium Holistic. We focus on the connection between mind, body, and spirit to achieve balance and health. And one of the most beautiful ways to start that path is with a personalized natal reading. In our Find Your Purpose service, we use your full date of birth and name to explore your mission. We explore karmas and dharmas. We explore hidden qualities. We explore why certain themes recur in your life. And we deliver it in a detailed PDF and MP3 audio so you can listen to it calmly. This is not for you to depend on a reading. It is so that you have a compass, a guide. So you can say, that's why I feel this way. That's why I always come back to the same thing. That's why it's hard for me to let go of this habit. That's why my soul asks for this kind of growth. If this resonates with you, if at this moment you feel that you need clarity, stay with this idea. Knowing yourself is an act of love. And when you get to know yourself, your energy aligns. Your mind calms down, your body breathes differently, and your spirit feels at home. I want you to ask yourself 3 questions, here and now. First, what part of my life am I living out of habit? Second, what part of my life am I living out of fear? Third, what part of my life am I living for love? You don't have to answer perfectly. Just observe, because observing is already getting out of autopilot. And if today you realize that you have been surviving, nothing happens. Today may be the first day of real change. Small, sustainable, with compassion, with patience, with gratitude. Time passes quickly, but every day offers us new opportunities to learn, to love, to grow. And that's what your soul came to do. You didn't come to pay bills. You didn't come to suffer. You didn't come to fall into distractions. You came to remember your light. You came to raise your consciousness. You came to live with meaning. And if you need a guide to start seeing your purpose more clearly, we're here. If you want to find your purpose, contact us and acquire a reading of your natal chart. Till next time, lots of blessings.